Hello students, welcome you all in the lecture series of strength of material. Today we are going to discuss our next topic, which is bending stresses in beams, or which is also known as the pure bending. Okay, this one is also known as the theory of simple bending. Okay, so first of all we will understand what is pure bending. Okay, the pure bending, when a member or a beam is said to be pure bending when it is subjected to two equal and opposite couple in the plane passing through longitudinal axis of the member. Okay. So, let us say we are having a beam, let us say this is a beam, and we are applying two equal and opposite couple in the plane of longitudinal member. Okay. So, this is the longitudinal axis of the beam and we are applying two equal and opposite couple here. Okay. So, we are applying two equal and opposite couple here, okay, in the plane of this plane of the longitudinal axis. Okay. So, if we are okay from here we can also understand that this is the plane. Okay. This is the axis, longitudinal axis of the member, and if we are applying two equal and opposite couple in the plane of the longitudinal member, longitudinal plane is this plane. Okay. So, this plane, in this plane if we are applying two equal and opposite couple, then the member will be called as the in pure bending. And if we are applying two equal and opposite couple in the cross sectional area like this one, okay, if we are applying two equal and opposite couple like this one, this is known as the twisting. Okay. So, this part is known as the bending. What is bending? Okay, what is bending? Pure bending, when two equal and opposite couple acts in the plane passing through the longitudinal axis. Okay. So, if this is the longitudinal axis, if we are applying like this, then this is the pure bending. Okay. Now, I am drawing one the front view of the beam. Okay. Front view of the beam, let us say we are having a beam. Okay. Let us say this is the beam, this is the beam. Okay. This is the beam, this is the beam, and we are applying two equal and opposite couple in opposite couple in the plane of longitudinal axis. So, this is the plane of longitudinal axis and we are applying two equal and opposite couple in the plane of longitudinal member. Okay. So, if we are applying this one, if we are applying, then if we are applying moment like this, then upper layer will be in compression, lower layer will be in the extension, and at certain layers we will have zero value of expansion and contraction. These layers, okay, the middle layers are known as the neutral fibers. Okay. These are the neutral fiber, or which is also known as the neutral plane. Okay. So, this is also known as the neutral plane. Okay. Now, we are taking now we have applied two equal and opposite couple, let us say moment m, two equal and opposite couple, two equal and opposite couple we have applied. Now, this case is known as the bending. Okay. This case is known as the bending. Okay. Before starting one derivation we are having in bending, that is known as the bending equation. Okay. Bending equation, we have taken one fiber, we have taken two cross sectional areas. Okay. One cross sectional area is this one and other cross sectional area this one. Okay. This vertical plane is the cross sectional plane. Okay. So, if we have taken this cross sectional plane, intersection of this cross sectional area and the neutral fiber will be like this, neutral fiber will be like this. Okay. Neutral fiber are like this, and and we are having the cross sectional area. So the line intersection line of the cross sectional plane, we are having two planes, one plane is this one, other plane is this one. So there will be one cross sectional, one intersection line, and this line is known as the neutral axis. Okay, this line is known as the neutral axis. Neutral axis is the intersection of neutral fiber, these are the neutral fiber, and plane of cross sectional area. So this will also be the neutral axis. Okay, there will be no effect of bending on the neutral axis and neutral fiber. Okay, now there are some assumptions while starting the derivation of the bending equation. The first assumption is, I am writing assumption here. The first assumption is because there is no material in the perfect condition, so we have to take some assumptions. Okay, first assumption is the material is homogeneous. The material is homogeneous and isotropic. Okay, isotropic. Material is homogeneous and isotropic. The meaning of material is homogeneous and isotropic means, in case of homogeneous and isotropic, in case of homogeneous, the properties are same in the particular direction. Okay, the properties are, let's say we have taken one three-dimensional element, the properties in the x direction will be same. Okay, let's say these properties are sigma, let's say the properties are, let's say E, then the properties will be E, properties will be E. In y direction properties will be E1, E1, E1. In z direction properties will be E2, E2, E2. Okay, what does that mean? The meaning is the properties are same in one particular direction. Okay, and isotropic means the properties are same in all the direction at a single point. Okay, if we have taken this point, then properties are same in all the direction. This is known as the isotropic properties. And homogeneous means properties are same at all the points in a particular direction. Okay, if we are taking x direction, then on all the points the properties are same in the x direction. Okay, then in isotropic, at point 1 properties are same in all the direction, at point 2 the properties will be same in all the directions, means there is properties are varying with respect to point, and here properties are varying with respect to direction. Okay, so this assumption we have taken, the material is homogeneous and isotropic. The second assumption is the the second assumption is, this means the meaning of that one is the Young's modulus. Young's modulus is same in tension and compression. Okay, that is the Young's modulus, value of Young's modulus is same in the tension and compression. Now the second assumption we are taking that the transverse plane remains plane, transverse plane remain plane and perpendicular to neutral fibers. Okay, so the transverse plane remains plane and perpendicular to the neutral fibers. Okay, then third assumption we can take, initially the beam is straight. Initially the beam the beam is straight and all longitudinal filaments are bent into circular arc with a common center of curvature. Okay, initially the beam is straight and all elements are bent into circular arc with common center of curvature. Okay. Other assumptions are that beam is symmetrical about the longitudinal plane, and the stress is purely longitudinal, and stress concentration effects near the concentrated loads are neglected. Okay. So, these are the main assumptions we have taken while starting our derivation. Okay. So, one assumption was that transverse plane, these are the transverse plane, these planes remains plane after the application of bending moment. Okay. So, we have applied the bending moment, initially they are plane, and after the bending they remains plane, and all the fibers, all the elements are bent into bend about a common center of curvature. Okay. So, this we have taken two sections, section this one and section this one. Okay. Two sections we have taken, and after the application of bending they will bend. Okay. They will bend about a common center of curvature. Okay. Common center of curvature, they will bend about a common center of curvature, but the sections remains. Now, this section is converted into this one, but the section remains plane. Okay. Initially we are having A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E and F, A, B, C, D, E, F section, and after the application of bending, A is shifted to A dash, B is shifted to B dash, C is shifted to C dash, and D is shifted to D dash, but they also remain the same. Okay. They also remain the plane after the application of bending. Neutral fiber means this E point will remain at E, F point will remain at F. Okay. And we will have this kind of curvature. Okay. After the bending about this point the beam is having the same center of curvature. Okay. Let us say this point is O. Okay. And the radius of curvature of the neutral fiber, the radius of curvature of neutral fiber we are taking, let us say this radius of curvature of the neutral layer or neutral fiber we are taking, let us say R. Okay. Let us say we are taking it as R. Now what we have to do, we have to develop a relation between stresses generated. Okay. Stress generated. Now, if the curvature is shifted to like this, then there will be stress generation which will oppose to the movement, So, the stresses, the generation of stresses will be like this. They will be in such a manner that they are going to oppose the bending. Okay. If the bending is this one, then the stress generation will be like they are going to oppose the initial bending. Okay. Now if we are taking one element at a distance of R from neutral layer. Okay. This is the neutral layer. We have taken one element at a distance of y, then after the application, let us say this one is E, F, G, H. After application of the bending moment, this G is shifted to G dash and this H is shifted to H dash. Okay. H is shifted to H dash, and this distance, this the radius of curvature of this layer which is at a distance of y from the neutral layer will be equal to r minus y. This will be r minus y. Let us say the angle is theta. Now the longitudinal strain, okay, the longitudinal strain will be equal to, in the fiber GH, longitudinal strain in fiber GH will be equal to, longitudinal strain in the fiber GH will be equal to final curvature, final value minus initial value divided by initial value. Okay, that will be equal to, finally we have converted to G dash H dash minus GH divided by initial value is GH. Okay, and this G dash H dash we can write this one, this will be converted into this one after the application of bending moment. Then G dash H dash we can write r minus y into theta. Arc, length of arc will be equal to radius multiplied by angle subtended. Okay, minus GH, this GH will be equal to EF, GH will be equal to EF divided by E and F, divided by EF. Now strain GH will be equal to r minus y into theta minus EF. This EF will be equal to total radius about point O is r into theta. By the same manner we have written this one is r minus theta. Finally we are getting minus y divided by r. Okay, why this minus y is coming? Minus y is coming because the layer which is above the neutral fiber or neutral layer will be in compression. Okay, because of the bending moment, and the layer which are the downward to the neutral layer will be in tension. Okay, so in general we can write strain, longitudinal strain will be equal to plus minus y by r. If it is above the neutral layer, then we can take negative sign, and if it is below, then we can take positive sign. Okay, then stress Hooke's law is also followed. One assumption we can write that the Hooke's law is also going to follow. Okay, we can also write that material obeys Hooke's law, and Hooke's law states that the up to proportional limit stress is directly proportional to strain. Then stress is directly proportional to strain, then stress is equal to E into strain, then stress divided by E will be equal to y by r, or we can write sigma upon y is equal to E by r. Okay, sigma upon y is equal to E by r. This is the first part of our bending equation. From here we can also say that sigma is directly proportional to y. Sigma is directly proportional to y. And what is sigma? Here the sigma is the bending stress. Okay, because of this bending moment we are having bending stress, and bending stress is directly proportional to the y, and y is the location of any fiber from the neutral layer. This is the neutral layer, and the location of any fiber from the neutral layer is given by y, and y means the bending stress is directly proportional to y, means the variation of bending stress from the neutral fiber is linear. So we can say that this is the linear. When y is equal to 0, then bending stress is 0. When y is equal to 0, the bending stress is 0, and we will have, when y is equal to y maximum, then we are having the sigma maximum at the top of the fiber. Okay, so this is the side view. Okay, this is the side view of the element. We will have stresses in such a manner that they are going to oppose the bending moment. Okay. Now the second part of this derivation is due to this bending moment we are having resisting bending moment developed due to change in the cross section. Okay. Resisting bending moment developed. I am drawing this one here. Okay. Now the cross sectional area, cross sectional view. Okay. Now this is the cross sectional view. Cross sectional view will be like that. In the above side we are having compression. Okay. Compression, due to compression in the above to the neutral fiber, neutral layer. Okay. Neutral layer, this cross section will be converted into the trapezoidal section. Okay. This will be converted into the trapezoidal. Okay. So these are the neutral fiber, this will be converted into like this neutral trapezoidal section. Okay. I am taking this section here, cross section, then this will be converted into the trapezoidal section. Finally, initially the cross sectional area is this one, initially the cross sectional area is this one, and finally the cross sectional area will be like this trapezoidal section. Why it is converting into trapezoidal section? Because the volume of the material will remain constant. If it is compression in the front view, then it will expand in the side view. Okay. And this layer, because of the change in the cross sectional area, they will produce one resisting bending moment, and this resisting bending moment will be equal to okay, this resisting bending moment will be equal to let us say d. This is because the area, cross sectional area is changing, y is also changing, y means distance from the neutral axis, then dmr will be equal to df multiplied by y. Resisting bending moment will be equal to df resisting force multiplied by perpendicular distance, and df resisting, this force is coming due to the stresses, bending stresses will be equal to, stress will be equal to force divided by area. Then we have taken the area multiplied by y. Sigma is nothing but E by r into y, E by r into y into dA, then E by r into y square dA, then this is dm. Okay. For the complete bending moment we will integrate, okay, integrate this equation, then here we will have mr equal to E by r integration of y square dA, and y square dA is nothing but the moment of inertia. Okay. This is nothing but the moment of inertia about neutral layer. Okay. Moment of inertia about the neutral axis. Okay. Moment of inertia about the neutral axis. This is the neutral axis. In side view, neutral axis will be like this, and if we are looking in the side view or in the cross sectional area view, then this will be, if this is the neutral axis, if we are looking from this cross sectional area view, then this is the neutral axis. Okay. Neutral axis is different, neutral fibers are different. Okay. So this is nothing but the neutral axis. Okay. So here, from here we can write mr divided by mr equal to E by r into INA. INA is the moment of inertia about neutral axis, then mr divided by INA equal to E by r. This is the second part of our bending equation. From the combination of 1 and 2 we can write sigma b upon y is equal to E by r equal to mr divided by INA. Okay. In simple view we can write sigma upon y is equal to E by r equal to m upon I. Okay. Where sigma is the bending stress generated due to bending moment, y location of that fiber where we are measuring the bending stresses, E the material properties, R is the radius of curvature of neutral layer, Mr resisting bending moment due to the change in the cross sectional area, and INA is the moment of inertia about neutral axis. Okay. So, this is the bending equation. This equation is known as the bending equation. Okay. This is also known as the bending equation, or this is also known as the Bernoulli's bending equation. Okay, in simple terms, this is known as the bending equation. Sigma upon y equal to E by R equal to M upon I. Okay, the term should be very clear. First one is the bending stress generated due to bending moment. Y is the location of that fiber on which the bending stress we are measuring the bending stress. E the material property. R is the radius of curvature of the neutral layer. This is R, radius of curvature of the neutral layer. Okay. Then Mr is the resisting bending moment produced by the element. Okay. Then INA is the moment of inertia about neutral axis. Okay. So, this bending stress is directly proportional to y, is inversely proportional to I, means if moment of inertia of any section is very large, then the bending stress produced will be less. Okay. This moment of inertia you have studied in the engineering mechanics also. Okay. So, if we have taken 3 sections, means like this circular section, we have taken the rectangular section, and we have taken the I section. Okay. I section. Okay. On which section, these are the cross sectional areas. ठीक है. Okay. On which section we will have minimum bending stress generation. Okay. Minimum sigma is directly proportional to 1 upon I. Okay. If I is very small, then sigma b will be large. Okay. So, we will take such section whose moment of inertia, or we can say area moment of inertia is large. So, area moment of inertia I is directly proportional to y square dA. Okay. Integral of y square dA. Y square dA means the moment of area. First moment of area y dA, then second moment of area y square dA. This is the second moment of area. Okay. So, if the area, we have area which is situated further from the neutral layer, then such areas will be having the largest value of moment of inertia. Okay. Here the total area is situated near to the neutral fiber, so I will be minimum. Here we will have constant value of I with respect to section. Here we are having area which is situated at a distance from the neutral axis. Okay. So, this is it for today. Thank you.